the Ascension of the Lord. Ascension is part of realizing God's dreams. For Jesus, it was returning to the Father after fulfilling his mission. Fulfilling the Father's dreams was his passion. Dreams are important. Not those that we see when we are asleep, but those that we hope to come true. Those in which we imagine to change ourselves. Those that we plan when we are wide awake. Keep those dreams alive. They liberate us from the destinies that our past or our genetics have predetermined for us. If we think our past defines us, we should know that our dreams will liberate us. The final message of Jesus before the Ascension was to preach repentance for the forgiveness of sins. True evangelization is to announce to people that there is a way to be liberated from their sins and from their memories. There is a way to ascend out of what sedates them in their very ordinary experiences, to wake up to the dream of God, the ascent. It is difficult for me to go through the Feast of the Ascension without remembering St. John Climacus and his Scala, the Ladder of Divine Ascent. Ever since I read it a long time ago. It is a 30-step ladder to reach a life of Christian perfection. The ascent is a journey achieved by shedding weight, and renunciation is the key. Renounce what you own, what belongs to you, until you have only your body to renounce. The more one is able to renounce, the higher one ascends to the divine realms. The Son of God became Son of Man, so that the sons of men could become sons of God. This quote from St. Augustine absorbs the essence of the descent and ascent of Christ. The descent of Christ shared the human predicament, and the ascent opened the world of human possibilities. Or, better said, the divine possibilities of humanity. The Creed states, "He descended into the dead, waking them up to the dreams of God, and he ascended to the Father, offering them the possibility of ultimate liberation out of death." We often too closely associate with our mundane experiences, to our real selves, hurrying between tasks and doing rituals of the day with little vision of our ideal selves. The Ascension is a time to look up and raise ourselves a little above our ordinary experiences, to our spiritual and ideal selves. Our ideal selves are the selves that we should become. It is God's dream for us, where every one of us should ascend. I do not remember where I read this story, but the narrative kept me captivated. A boy climbs up the mast of a ship to replace the torn flag, but the ship was caught in the raging sea. He managed to tie the flag, and it was time to descend. But he looked down and found himself on the heaving mast against the backdrop of the waves that appeared to engulf the ship. He was terrified and could not gather enough courage to look down again and to make the descent. Then the captain called out to him, "Look up and feel the steps of the ladder with your feet and come down. Look up! Look up!" That advice worked well. He gathered his courage to reach the deck. Ascension calls for looking up to heaven, so that we can handle every descent with our gaze still fixed on the ascending Christ. It is the way to go through the difficult journeys of our lives, to look up above the tempest of our daily lives, to ascend out of what limits our full living. Earth and its cares, the body and its desires, they are not bad in themselves, but the cares of the body and things that are near and close to us lock us into a certain prison of self-seeking behavior. Sometimes we identify this small world of ours as the final horizon of lives. The Feast of the Ascension invites us to breach the ceilings of our prejudices and belief systems that trap us into our small worlds. Once we transcend these limits, we are able to see the sky of divine possibilities and live our lives in fullness.